Yes. Okay, guys. So we are here and we are live. And listen, I have a dynamic and powerhouse group of women. We literally just got off of a phenomenal Zoom presentation, a class that I've been telling you guys about. And I am so excited for you to have the opportunity to hear from three amazing boss ladies who, even with everything that's happening around the world, they are taking a stand. They are making a difference for other people. They are working from home. They are moms. They are absolutely phenomenal. So guys, thank you so much for joining this live presentation. The first person I want to introduce you to, she is from California right now. She is a mom. She is a veteran. Thank you for your service. She is a phenomenal human being, and she has an incredible message to share with everyone. So please help me welcome on to this live Zoom presentation, Miss Teresa Gabriel from California.
Yay! Yay! Hello, Miss Nadine. It's so great to see you. I am just so honored to be here and for you to actually call us up and say, you know what, we really got to send a message out there because, at this time we're in, there's so many uncertainties and people are in that space of, they don't know, that they have fear, but at the same time there's positivity that you could experience as well. Like, let's go out there and share a message. And I just really want to thank you for your leadership, for your heart, for your dedication, and really, a lot of the good stuff that I'm learning is really from you. and so thank you so much and for this opportunity. And so I'm Teresa Gabriel, for you guys that are tuning in. And I it's so amazing how a lot of the stuff that I've actually in my life right now, like I've prepared for it and not knowing in hindsight, like was a preparation for that. And I was so confused actually when I had a question from the universe. I got out of the military and I was like, what else is out there? Because I was in a position wherein I was going back to work with them again after having served for 9 years. And the reason why I wanted to stay away was because of, the conditions that we have during that time. And I was done, I had a great time. I served my country and all that, but I was ready to move forward. But then because that's all I knew, so I ended up applying for the same job in the Navy, but now not in the military field. And a lot of people could really, can probably, what is the word I'm looking for? Can actually relate to that because, that's all we ever knew. And so I was driving one time and I was like, you know what else is out there? And it's not like there was a need for me at that time when entrepreneurship came into my space, that there was actually a need for it. Like, I knew that I had a plan. I had like a 5-year, a 10-year, a 20-year plan already. So, but it just made sense. The concept of what was introduced to me just absolutely made sense. And so I couldn't say no to it. And I love the environment because that was the first time that I walking into an environment of a Saturday event, a Saturday training, and people actually acknowledge me. And, like I think I got a few hugs from people, which I love hugs. And something that we don't normally do in the federal job, like, and so I was like, wow, if I can bring this type of this environment in my day-to-day life, this would be amazing. And even though it didn't make sense why it was that, like, I remember going in there and they were telling me all this information and I was like, nope, not doing that, nope, not doing that. But it just really made sense. And I was like, okay, you know what, I'll just, this, I seems like this was God's answer to my prayer, and I'll just be obedient and let's see what shows up here. And, and fast forward, I became a mom and I was able to stay home and really take care of my little girl, and I have to worry about asking for permission to go on maternity leave or any of that stuff. And even with this now, with what's happening, most importantly, I was like, wow, we're so blessed to just kind of adjust. We just kind of had to shift a little bit. It wasn't a big shift. And so really in hindsight, like, where stuff is being put in front of us and we don't really know, and it may not be really a need, but it just makes sense. So why not? Right. And I think that's what entrepreneurship is. It's like it being in preparation for things when you actually do need them. So thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Wow. You know, you said something pretty significant, Teresa. Number one, I had no idea everyone didn't hug around the world, right?
No.
So with this social distancing, it's kind of bringing you back like, oh no, I gave the non-hug days up, right?
Yeah.
But outside of that, I mean, you had a incredible career, and you served, and you've always been about giving back to others. And you know, to see what you've been able to do in the business is absolutely phenomenal, and the lives that you've been able to change, one of which is on this live Zoom presentation. So you guys will have a chance to hear from her business partner, who's out in California too, shortly. But before we talk to her, I want to introduce one of my business partners. She's from out of New Jersey. She is a phenomenal woman. She is a vocalist by profession, but she saw this business a short time ago, and you know, took it full storm ahead. And so I'm so excited for her to be able to share with you guys what she's been able to do part-time, around her full-time, right from home. Please help me welcome onto this live Zoom presentation, boss mom, unbelievable vocalist, Miss Miriam Estenball. The live is yours, ma'am.
Wow. Who are we talking about? You're talking about me?
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. I am so honored to be on this live webinar with three very significant, impactful, phenomenal women. I am blessed to be surrounded by such positive energy, the kind that the world is lacking. Shortly, let's say that I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I am a vocalist, I also am a voiceover artist, and to put a feather in my cap, I'm also an entrepreneur, so I wear a lot of hats. But one of the things that I want to express and say, and I tell my business partner this all the time, when she introduced me to this business, it was an answer to my prayers. Because at the time that I was introduced to this business, I was already looking for something that was going to take me away from the traditional 9 to 5. Because outside of the things that I always were doing on the sidelines, I was a staffing manager for a pretty big employment agency. And I've been doing that for quite some time. What I noticed though in doing that in that profession is when people were coming in, I mean, we're feeling the impacts of what's going on now with the economy, but it was already in the works. It's just showing up now in full force. Where people who did everything their mother told them. They went to school, they got college degrees, they're well trained, and they're coming into my office with master's degrees and PhDs. And I'm interviewing them to find out what their skill sets are so I can match them with a potential employee. And to hear a professor from college sit across from me and say, well, what do you have? And I'll say, well, this is what the position or said position entails. It only pays $12 an hour though. And for him to say to me, well, if that's all you got, then that's all I'm going to be able to take because I'm desperate right now. Wow. I mean, to go to work and to see the desperation in people's faces about how they were going to maintain or keep their 9 to 5, it really put things in perspective for me. The other thing was, being at the office every day, it took away from me wanting to be home. One, it wasn't helping me pursue my passions and live my purpose. Two, it was taking away from me wanting to spend time with my beautiful son. Working outside of the home, then rushing home, picking him up from school, going through that whole homework, getting him to bed, and getting up every day, doing it over and over and over again. It was exhausting. And the only time I get to spend with him is when the weekend comes, where I'm trying to cram everything in that I don't get to do during the week and then juggle that family time. I hated it. And I knew that long term, I didn't want to continue living in that cycle. And not long after that, I was talking to my husband, and I remember communicating to him, we got to do something different, because I don't want to do this anymore. I want to be home. I want to be able to pour into my family. I want to be able to raise my son and not pay somebody else to do it for me. And we were looking into other businesses. We were looking for the traditional brick and mortar. And a lot of the things that we were looking into, the startup capital was like sticker shock. And so I kept thinking to myself, okay, you know what? Then this is probably going to have to be a dream deferred. Not long after that, I met Mrs. Wilkins at our house of faith, and we became friends. And she's my angel. I tell her that all the time. I was also looking into homeschooling my son. I just didn't have the courage to do it. And I didn't know what it entailed. And that's how we clicked. She started to talk to me about homeschooling, because she homeschools her 3 boys. And she has an educational background, and she's been doing it for a couple of years. I thought to myself, because I come from a traditional, and I was raised in a 2-income family, how am I going to be able to make this work? How am I going to be able to fit not being in a traditional 9 to 5, replace that revenue so that we will be okay? And the more we spoke, she introduced me to this business. It made complete sense. It was like the thing that I was searching for fell right in my lap. I have to tell you that I didn't come from an entrepreneurial background. I came from traditional background where, you go to school, you do the right things, and then, you get that 9 to 5, and you just maintain. You survive. For me, I feel like I was surviving, because it's now that I feel like I'm living. It's now that I feel like I'm thriving, because I'm doing things that fulfill my purpose, things that I love, but I don't have to worry about how I'm going to be able to maintain, because now I have a business that, with the help of my business partner, has helped me grow personally. I now have a legacy that I could pass on to my son, and him watching me do this, because kids don't listen to what you say, they watch what you do.
Mm-hmm.
And me telling him you can do anything, you can be anything, and that not living in that truth I was an imposter. And now him watching me do this, I'm able to now say to him, he's watching me and he's now thinking, oh, well, there's another way to do things, and there's another way to live life. And I don't have to, there's not just one way. There's not just one path. I can explore my options. I can really do anything and be anything. And ACN has allowed me to dream again, and allowed me to just be the best me that I can be. And I'm so grateful, especially in this time where everybody who works the traditional 9 to 5 is scrambling to figure out, how long is this going to be? What am I going to do with my kids? What about school? And now I'm able to do all of that. Why? Because not only do I have a business, but I'm surrounded by people who are of like mind, who are able to thrive, but also pour into their passions and just bless their families and their community. And I'm so grateful to have this right now at this time.
Wow, Miriam. I mean, I just had chills just listening to you, because I know what it was like being in your shoes, and to see where you are today, it just blows me away. And I'm just so grateful that the Lord connected us together.
Yes.
And we can be on this journey every step of the way.
Absolutely.
Together. So thank you so much for sharing that. Guys, I want to bring Teresa back on for a moment, because through Teresa, I had the opportunity to meet the individual that Teresa is going to introduce. She is a phenomenal woman. Her daughter is absolutely amazing. The charity work that she does, not just in her home state, California, but throughout the country, is phenomenal. So I don't want to steal the joy. Teresa, I want to give you
Yes.
the next
Thank
speaker.
Thank you, Miss Nadine. Yes, this next speaker right here, she is just an amazing individual. You know, every time I see her, I said, "You are all heart. You are all heart." And the way she speaks, the way she carries herself, just who she is, she's really all heart. And you know, a lot in this world right now, you know, as a leader, we kind of want somebody like that. And you know, and she's already was like that in her traditional business. And she's gonna share to you her story. And really, she's really just, when I met her, I was like, wow, superwoman. I was like, she's a superwoman. Like I was even saying, like, this girl, she goes in her community every day, and she's like, who can I help? And you know, just to have that kind of caliber of leadership, and an amazing person who continually extends herself and really elevates people as well. And I'm so grateful to call her as a business partner and really a great friend as well. Yeah. More than that, a great friend. So please welcome Miss Janet Cano.
Hi. I spend so much time with my daughter sometimes these past few days that I feel like I have all of this joy because she's always around too. You know, we're so busy like trying to make work and the business and the nonprofits helping all these people. And sometimes if you just get to step back and you're like, can't we just be more like children?
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
And I'm going to have human moments because, you know, a few days ago when all of this stuff started happening and they told us that we had to stay home more, I was like, oh my gosh. And I started seeing how businesses were shutting down and how all of this stuff started happening. I'll be honest with you, I was having human moments and I started panicking for a second. I'm like, oh my God. And then Madeline was like, Mom, what's wrong? She was like, Mom. And I'm like, baby, look at this is what's happening. And I was trying to explain to her simply, I'm like, this is what's happening in China. You know, it started because of China. This is what's happening. Like this is what happening. I was just trying to help her understand, but I was just panicking. And she looked at me and was like, Mama, but you're so nice and you're always helping people. So shouldn't we be helping China?
Wow. 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 Wow.
And I just went back and I'm like, okay, you know what? Because if I panic, if that happens, then this little one who I have been changing my entire life for to make sure that our kids' future is the kind of future that we want for them, I started becoming so much more proactive. And I realized that I was so grateful for Mr. Adlam and for Shihan and for Teresa because, you know, Shihan and I have been working together for so many years. She was in real estate, I was in insurance. And then, you know, Teresa came along and she was the catalyst because, you know, she understood nonprofit. Because, you know, Shihan was all about money. And I love money. You know, the only thing I understood about what they were explaining to me was residual income because that's how I made a living with my insurance industry. And then, but money doesn't move me. You know, like money's great. Like it's fine. I mean, I always knew how to make money, but why do we want to make money? We want to make money because we want to bless other people. You know what I mean? Like the whole bags and all that stuff. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, my dresses and my shoes are always on point, but like all the other stuff.
And handbags.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, why do we want that money? And so I'm so glad that I paid attention because I already knew how successful and amazing Shihan was. And he married, you know, him and Teresa got married and she understood my love for nonprofit. And I'm a very big believer that why can't nonprofits become profit? Why? Why can't they be millionaires? They deserve it.
Yeah.
They people who work in nonprofits, they do so much with nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if we had 10 SVPs that came from nonprofits, what would that do to our economy? And then when they educated me on what's happening in Latin America, I was like, oh my gosh, you know, I migrated here from El Salvador, and I'm so blessed that I have an accent in Spanish. What the heck? Like, I was born in a third world country. And the fact that we can prepare people right now that, you know what, you guys, this is already happening in the US. The coronavirus is spreading all over the place. People are freaking out. They're taking out money. They're taking out all their money from the banks because all this stuff is happening. Yeah. But thank God we have mentors like Mr. Adlam, like Nadine Wilkins. I mean, I'm telling you, because of you is why it was like the nail on the coffin why I decided to really homeschool Madeline, because I wanted her to be in an environment to learn from individuals like Teresa, like Nadine, you know, like Mr. Adlam. Are you kidding me? Like, my child is not homeschooled. Our children are world school.
Yes, indeed.
So I loved what I did. You know, I loved my insurance industry. I loved that. I met some incredible women in that insurance industry. Like, my gosh, Ramona Smart and Patty and, you know, Mariela and Christine, like, they are incredible women who are prepared. But we get to do that for the rest of our community because, like you guys said, it costs so much money to start a traditional business. I had a farmer's franchise. It was expensive. And here, you know, we literally get to educate people in Peru, in Colombia, in all of Latin America, that they can start right now being prepared, building residual income, because this coronavirus is supposed to spread who knows where, how far, right? And we're gonna get through it. That's just the thing. We're gonna get through it. But Mr. Adlam has been teaching us to build the ark for how many years now? And right now, people are either going to drown or they're gonna pay attention and get on that boat with us, that lifeboat.
Yeah.
And I'm just so grateful, you know, I'm so grateful for this organization, for what we do, for the women that I'm learning from. Like, I mean, 2 years ago, I never in my wildest dreams would think that I would be learning from such incredible women like you. And I mean, Nadine, you have your master's in education, and God. So heck yeah, I'm gonna listen, and I'm going to pay attention and learn from incredible leaders already doing what I want to do with my family. So I think we get to do this.
Yes.
And be fearless, because our community really needs us right now.
Yes.
Wow. Janet, listen, guys, you just heard from 3 very phenomenal women. And I just want to put things in perspective with everyone and why we decided to literally figure out how to come on a Facebook Live via Zoom, right?
Yes.
We are all learning new skills. And it's to share a message with every single person seeing this live, why it's important right now to prepare, but don't panic. Why that is so important. And the decisions that you make today will not only carry you through this coronavirus pandemic, but through the rest of the year, the next 5 years, and the next 10 years. This is your setup for the next decade. I am so excited that these phenomenal women joined us on this live Zoom presentation today, because what they know is this: they saw the information, they made a decision to start a business where they work from home. Right now, there is no safer place to be than home. So if home is the safest place to be, doesn't it make sense to work from home? Absolutely. And then also make the type of income that the traditional business owner, the traditional 9-to-5 employee does not make. It's something called residual income. Right now, everybody's looking for security, and you can have that. You can have that with the businesses that we had the opportunity to start, and the training and development that you get is absolutely world-class. It's phenomenal. See, Janice said great things about my education. I've learned so much outside of former education through the training and development in this company than I did in formal education. And I am so excited that I get to lock arms with the phenomenal women that you just heard from. And we support each other every step of the way. We are committed to making sure that women know that you have options, you have choices. Because, see, Miriam, when I started my business, I was working like everybody else. I was, working full-time as a special education teacher. I was running my business part-time in the evenings. Translation, I had no time. I literally left my house at 6 a.m. in the morning. Everything was rush, 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 rush. I was so exhausted. And I remember coming home from work one day and literally after the worst day possible, coming home, falling to my knees and literally crying like, oh my God, like, is this what it's supposed to be like? And then I'm so grateful that someone thought enough about me, who's my mentor today, and shared the concept of working from home, but then also making something called residual income. So I'm going to leave it at that because we all have meetings that we are about to walk
into. Yeah. Yeah.
That is a great thing. Like right now we're working remotely, but I just want everyone to know every industry right now, there's no safe industry, guys. Amazon just saw that they're no longer shipping anything out other than like medical supplies. The malls are closed. The banks are closed. The schools are closed for the next 4 weeks. Now is the time not to shrink, but now is the time to expand because the world has changed and it will never be the same. And now is the time to adapt. Now is the time to change. Now is the time to do those things that you said that, man, I don't know if I'm qualified enough to do it. The one thing I know about business, you don't need any fancy degrees. You don't have to sound a certain way. You don't have to look a certain way. All you have to do is make a decision that you're not going to stay where you are and that you are going to start a business and set your family up generationally. So with that being said, ladies, I want to give you all a chance to just kind of say one last thing, one piece of advice to the woman that's out there right now, whether she was homeschooling before or now she's into forced homeschooling, right? She's trying to figure things out because she doesn't know how she's going to bring in the income now that she's been sent home from work. Or maybe it's the woman who right now, doesn't homeschool, but is looking for a way to make income right now because they've been sent home from work for the next 4 weeks. And who knows how long this will go in. What's one piece of advice that you would give to women right now that has made a difference for you, that'll take them from where they are today to becoming a business owner, starting their business and creating the best type of income possible, residual income? And we're going to start with Miss Miriam.
Step out of the boat and walk on water.
Yes.
Leave the fear behind. You need to do this. Your family deserves it and you deserve it. You don't want to look back a couple of years from now when your children are grown saying, I wish I did this, woulda, shoulda, coulda. It doesn't matter. You can do this. Your children deserve it. You deserve it. Your family deserve it. They're counting on you.
Thank you so much. And Miss Janet Cano, I'm going to pass it over to you, my dear.
I just saw that almost 50 million people are filing unemployment. There's people that are putting their houses for sale. Stop panicking, first of all, because we're going to get through this together. And if you join our community, you're going to see how we're going to help you every single step of the way. You're going to be able to be part of a community that is so rare. Out there, they're cutting you off, they're sending you home, they're cutting your paychecks, they're closing you down. And here we have our hearts completely open because we've already been a part of this for some time and we're really here to help. So I'm excited. Just come on, women, we multitask, let's do it.
Yes.
Yes.
And last but not least, the phenomenal Gabriel. Thank you so much. I know you have a 6 p.m. appointment out in California, 9 p.m. here in New Jersey. So please share.
I'm going to share in 15 seconds. No, it's take a step back, breathe, keep an open mind, and know that the problem is the opportunity.
Mhm.
And if you can come from that place that there is a solution to the situation that you're in, and if you can look at a different angle, and if you be open to receive the information from people that you love, that you trust, that will reach out to you and say, hey, I found a better way, or start planning your plan B now, because this could be a plan A in the next month.
Yes.
So just really keep an open mind and open heart, and know that you are divinely guided. And you're
Mhm.
going to have angels around you everywhere if you're just willing to extend your hand and keep an open heart as well.
Mhm.
Wow, wow, that was phenomenal. And Teresa, Miss Janet Cano, Miriam Essenball, thank you guys so much. As you can tell, my time is up.
I'm gonna log off. Bye, guys.
Bye,
Bye.
guys. Love you.
Bye. Have a great night,
This
everyone.
is
Stay
it.
safe.
Let's make history.
Yes,
This is our time. This is the time
absolutely.
to take a stand for other people so that they can be in a better position, and not look back in this moment of time and see tragedy, but look back in this moment of time and see the opportunity and see the lives that were changed and the difference that you were able to make. So thank you guys so much for joining. Love you. Take care.
Love
God bless.
you.
God
Bye.
bless.